is it actually bad? So I'm here to tell you mold is actually really bad. And I'm pretty much a survivor of mold toxicity. There's no pretty much about it. I'm a survivor. I was 7 times over the limit on mycotoxin poisoning, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. But what you don't understand, and I still have trouble understanding this. Long story short, I had to throw away everything I've ever owned, sell my cars, and restart my life because of a roof leak. And it got down in the walls. Um, I had C19 before, so I had no sense of smell. And for some reason, somebody decided to roof over another roof. So we had water just collecting in the attic with no signs of water damage because there were shingles in the attic. So, there was a lot going on that we didn't know about, and I got really, really sick. And I kind of want to tell you a little bit about what signs are, so you know what to do. Because I bet that if you are dealing with this, you probably don't know what to do, and you're probably Googling exactly what the title of this video is. I just encountered some old toys of my daughter's that just completely rolled my stomach where my gallbladder used to be, made me start uncontrollably gagging. And I pretty much had to go take a nap instantly. And that's just one of the symptoms. So usually I make these videos whenever I'm reminded of how far I've come because, I was really, really bad and, lost 40 pounds. A lot of people don't believe that the mold and the mycotoxins is what destroyed my gallbladder. And that's fine. But to this day, when I get in contact with these mycotoxins, it's still like a huge pain here where my gallbladder used to be. So I beg to differ. But so exactly what are mycotoxins would be pretty much microscopic particles that mold puts off when they get next to other molds in the same area. And I got congestion now because of what I just encountered. So you'll have to excuse me. Do your best Stone Cold Steve Austin impression. Maybe in a minute. So anyway, uh, it messes with your mental. It messes with a lot of things. It's not just your sinuses and your mucous membranes and stuff like that. This stuff binds to your DNA and changes you forever. And in my case, we just had to just leave everything behind. I left couches, TVs, refrigerators, all my appliances. Yeah, home insurance doesn't cover mold from water damage or termites. Yeah. Yeah, they sure don't. We had to restart everything with no help. So one thing you need to know is when is it time to get out? And this is going to be a really, really weird symptom, but I promise you, you're probably scouring the earth to figure out if someone else feels this way. And it's really hard to explain, but pretty much if you took a shot of the strongest alcohol that you could think of, and that burning, it's not really the burning, it's when you breathe the air, it's hot on your breath. It's really hard to explain, but if you're experiencing that, I've got really bad news for you. So when you breathe the air, and if you feel like different parts of your house has different textures of air, chances are you got mycotoxins in your house and you don't even know it. And you're living with them. You're probably really fatigued, always wanting to take a nap, not motivated to do anything. You probably find yourself struggling for words. Maybe you're like me and you've washed your car keys 3 times in the last month, and you're spending $300 to get them reprogrammed and rebought, excessively. Things like that. You should probably, get an air test or call like a Serv Pro or somebody to figure out what the heck is going on because it's not normal. I wasn't sure what was going on. I thought it was long COVID. I think we can say that now by now. It's been enough years. So I had the symptoms of long COVID and the what they call CIRS, which is chronic inflammatory response syndrome. You can look that up. I've got all the symptoms of it, and it mimics every symptom of long COVID, and also it binds and changes your DNA just like that virus does. So I am probably permanently never going to be the same. So that is one really, really key symptom, I guess you would say, is if when you breathe, you feel like your breath is just kind of extra hot, is really the only way that I can explain it. Um, your throat might constantly hurt no matter where you're at. You might feel better when you get out and about, but not that much. And even right now, I think my throat just stopped hurting, and that was about 2 hours ago. We went to Sonic and got ice cream. Um, I'm doing all right, man. Every so often, you just run into something. The other day, I was cleaning the whole house because I was just having a really bad week of breathing, and this stuff still blows my mind on how persistent it is because I ran across a charger and some cables that were plugged in the room. I don't know how they made it into the new house because, like I said before, we had to restart life and everything. New mortgage, new everything. We spent $200,000 of equity of cash just to get where we're at. You still have cold foggers machine. The thing with machines like that is that just like think about like a leaf blower. It's got to suck in air to push air, and whatever you use is going to get contaminated. So if you use an air purifier, it'll grab those toxins and it might put all those small spores into a filter, but you pretty much got to throw that machine away, which is really crazy to think about, but that's absolutely what you have to do. So if you're in a situation where you've got all those symptoms, maybe your stomach's constantly hurting, you think that your digestion's messed up or uh whatever it might be, um every time you eat fatty stuff, your gallbladder has trouble doing things. Uh Consider all the symptoms that I just told you about, and especially the brain fog and just kind of the slowness of where you're talking, because I'm sure you guys can probably notice a difference tonight. So, just having a hard time even doing this now, thinking about it, just talking. But it was a good reminder earlier because my daughter pulled out some Pokemon cards, and I'm sitting there on the couch, and I noticed that the air is like worse. And I was already having a bad week. I went home on Wednesday, and I moved every bed, and I vacuumed underneath every bed, and I moved every piece of furniture, and I vacuumed behind the furniture, and then I started scrubbing the walls and wiping all that down. I wiped the fans down, and I mopped and I swept, and I've got to do that every 3 days anyway. But I usually don't have to vacuum the beds. I'm sorry, vacuum underneath the beds. Usually I can just vacuum the couch and get away with it. But yeah, I did like a deep cleaning. What's the difference between electrostatic sprayer versus cold fogger? Electrostatic sprayer is going to charge the particles that you're spraying, so it's going to stick to whatever surface you spray it on. And I think a cold fogger is just going to kind of just create a fog without without a residue would be the best way. So electrostatic sprayer will whatever's in your canister will get charged and stick to that surface that you spray it on. So yeah, I just wanted to bring some more awareness about this. Uh There's a place there's a couple of places, but look up Real Time Labs if you're trying to get some tests done. What are you going on about? Mold toxicity, poisoning, and stuff. Um, mycotoxins, things like that. Pretty much barely survived it. Barely made it out. No exaggeration. Yeah, do you have a basement or crawl space? Not anymore, man. I had to move houses. It was in the attic, and I pretty much had to restart life and just leave everything behind. Uh, I left brand new refrigerators, brand new dishwashers, um, a 30 by 20 shop, two separate air conditioners, solar, 3,300 square foot of house, a corner lot. I just left all that behind. Took a huge loss for it, got whatever I could for it, and had to move. So it can be a really serious thing. But if if you're feeling that way, where you're like fatigued or you know brain fog or just like mental things like that, reach out to my labs and try to get like a mycotoxin test done. It's through urine, and yeah, it's just been a crazy time. So I'm just constantly reminded that the stuff is still so potent. I just even threw away a desk that I had. So when I bought the desk, it was in this room. I had a whole bunch of tools on the shelf over here. I don't know if I can show you. There's a shelf space over here. A whole bunch of tools on that shelf, and they were from the old house. I didn't know the tools were contaminated because I didn't even think it was a freaking thing. All this just sounds unfathomably credible. But so the tools were contaminated and they got into the carpet inside this room and we had to gut it all. And then I had to throw everything away. And there's a desk in here and there's a computer. And I'd already rebought like a couple of $1,000s of things for this room after moving into this new house. And then I pretty much had to throw it all away all over again and then restart this room all over again. Not being a professional self victim making you feel bad, grow the duck up. Yeah, easy for you to say, man. I just encountered something that's contaminated, so I'm telling you about how you can find things, that are contaminated. Everything was cool until I encountered those two items recently. But yeah, so we just threw away a desk, and the air got like 100 times better in here. So the desk is on the front street right now. Um, we threw away the chargers and the cables, and then I just bagged up the Pokemon cards. But it's crazy, man, because as soon as you open up something from the old house, it just kinda envelops the whole room with almost a plasticky kinda smell. It's, pretty interesting. So if you feel like you might have a mold issue, you're probably gonna notice that there's a lot of dust on things because those toxins get inside the dust. Uh, you're gonna notice that things have different textures. And you're probably gonna notice, like, different I don't even know how to explain it. Different rooms are gonna feel a different way. It's gonna be easier to breathe in certain situations. Uh, yeah, just know that, it's a real thing. It can be really a crazy time to even know what the hell is going on. But, yeah. So, wanted to bring more awareness to it while I had some fresh symptoms on my mind and what to look out for because I gone quite a while feeling pretty good. It definitely gets worse when it rains. Is the cold part? I don't know, man. I've never tried any of that stuff. Like I said before, if I turn it on and the area is contaminated, it's pretty much trash. So, I haven't really tried to sanitize anything myself because I've poured bleach and just straight acetone on glass things like cups and plates and dishes and utensils, and I can't clean this stuff. It it's like embedded in there. It's really, really crazy to explain. But, yeah, so I've got a couple of things that are contaminated, um, here. Part of me wants to send them to you guys so you can see how crazy it is, so you can experience it, but part of me just wants to throw them away and be done with them forever. But, yeah, just thought I would, at least talk about it a little bit because someone's gonna be Googling at some point, "Is mold making me feel bad?" I almost wanted to make the title, "Why is the air warm when I breathe?" But I thought that might be too strange. But it's right up the alley for what I'm experiencing. What's up, George Ordway? So, yeah, just me saying that will help the algorithm kind of help you find something that, you're searching for. But it's a very real thing. Mycotoxins are definitely a thing. CIRS is a underrated problem that we're finding more and more about. And even though I'm familiar with the things that are contaminated and just everything about it, it still boggles my mind that something like that can be contaminated and make me feel that way. So, yeah, hopefully this helps somebody out. Um, Hit me up in the comments if you got any questions on what to do. Are your glasses crooked or is it just me? It's probably my glasses, man. I don't know. I'm out of it, dude. Yeah, I got major breathing problems, man. Um, yeah, I would asbestos in the Navy is no good, man. Yeah, I don't know if my glasses are crooked, dude. I'm kinda out of it, honestly. It just makes you wanna just go to sleep, and it's hard to even think of words to say, but I just recently experienced it, so, I want to talk about it. Uh, but yeah, like, my throat hurts right now, just because. It probably will for 2 or 3 days. Usually I just wanna go take a nap or something. Uh, when we got the warning that it was on campus in 1991, it was a very arid area, Arizona and Prescott had a monsoon season that caused it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a bad deal, man. Um, Not all mold is bad, but if you get the right types in the area and it goes unnoticed, it'll it'll destroy you. So, and if it doesn't destroy you, you'll destroy yourself with just the mental things that you gotta deal with, and, the the ongoing battle of dealing with it is definitely a huge weight on me every day. So, new cars, new clothes, new everything. I still can't breathe in my own freaking car. I can't have it on circulate. I gotta clean everything every 3 days. It's a lot of upkeep. Things get better and then they get worse and they get better, and it's just a ongoing thing. But hopefully, if somebody's looking for something that, why you feel this way, you found mold, you feel this way, you think it might make making you sick, consider all the symptoms and look up CIRS, which is chronic inflammatory response syndrome. So there you go. Just doing a live. This wasn't for me. Wasn't even really for anybody in general, just hopefully someone would stumble across it. The desert turned green and was beautiful and unexpected but caused a problem. Oh, yeah, that's interesting. So, anyway, that's all I got. Might try to, cut this up into shorts. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Definitely doesn't help my algorithm on talking about this topic when, electrical or tool channel. But, I feel like I gotta say something about it. So, that's all I got. Uh, See you guys.